Welcome to Staffworks Explained. If you are here for the first time, please consider subscribing to this channel. Also, hit the notification bell so that whenever you upload a new video, you are notified. In today's episode, we'll be talking about a road that is being constructed in Kenya, the Kenol-Marua-highway, which is also known as the Kenol-Marua-highway Improvement Project. In this video, we'll talk about the financial viability of this project, where we'll see that the project has a net present value that is significant and has a high internal rate of return, which indicates strong potential for economic benefits for this project. We'll see the challenges that the project is facing, especially delays in land acquisition and compensation, which threaten project completion timelines and budget. And also we'll see the components of this project, the social impact, where we see that the road offers economic benefits, but the project should ensure that the completion is done on time and compensation is done fairly. The Kenol-Marua-highway Improvement Project is part of the Kenyan section of the Trans-African Highway, which runs from Cairo to Cape in Egypt through Nairobi onto Moyale, border with Ethiopia. The project road also links the capital city of Nairobi to some of the major commercially and agriculturally rich Mount Kenya region, as well as to Ethiopia through Moyale border. Thus, it will contribute to enhancing movement of goods and services and people between the counties in central eastern Kenya, as well as capital city Nairobi, and also link with Ethiopia. The project consists of dualling of 84 kilometers of the Kenol-Sagana-Marua road with upgrade, separated junctions, road safety interventions, social complementary initiatives, as well as other components. The project also includes soft components such as training of unemployed youth, institutional capacity building, monitoring and evaluation, sensitization, as well as awareness, tree planting, among others. The total cost of the project is 257.68 million euros. This currently is equivalent to 39 billion Kenya shillings. The project is co-financed by African Development Bank Group, which is funding to the extent of 69%. We also have Africa Growing Together Fund, which is funding at a tune of 12%, and the government of Kenya at 19%. The overall implementation period is 5 years, between 2020 and 2025. You may be asking yourself, what is this components which is funding the project apart from African Development Bank and Kenyan government? And we have mentioned African Growing Together Fund, or AGTF, which is funding the project in terms of 12%. The African Growing Together Fund is or AGTF is a collaborative initiative between African Development Bank and the People's Bank of China, PBOC. This was established in 2014 to enhance the economic development and the social progress of African countries by providing co-financing for projects alongside African Development Bank. Therefore, we can conclude that Chinese hand is in this project, and that's why probably the contractors are from China, as we'll see later. In terms of project needs assessment, the project road starts at Kenol Town, which is in Murang'a County, where the dual section of the road from Nairobi terminates. It transverses through the trading centers of Makutano, Sagana, and Karatina before terminating at Marua, which is where the junction between Nyeri Road and Nanyuki roads are. The existing road is a two-way single carriageway of bitumen standards, which was congested with high accident rates, making it transport costly and a threat for life. The road therefore was proposed for upgrading to dual carriageway to reduce travel costs and also improve road safety. African Development Bank intervention on this project, according to the project documents which are available, was informed by a specific feasibility study, environmental, social and impact assessment, as well as engineering design study for the project road, which is financed by the bank. The development objectives of the project are to contribute to the country's socio-economic development efforts by providing a more efficient and effective transport system, as well as to promote trade and regional integration. The specific objectives of the project is to improve road transport services along the corridor by reducing travel time, vehicle operating cost, mitigating traffic congestion and associated emissions, as well as improving the safety along the roads. In terms of beneficiaries, the project beneficiaries are residents in the zone of influence of the project, which are about 2 million, of which 44% are women. And they will have greater economic opportunities and improved access to social services and goods. Regional beneficiaries include producers, manufacturers, and traders who will have an improved access to the main corridor, to the northern corridor, at a reduced time and cost. The primary beneficiaries are the traders and farmers from the 5 counties of Murang'a, Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Kiambu, and parts of Embu. And these primary beneficiaries in these 5 counties are directly and indirectly using this road as to produce national, regional, and international markets. To access markets. The total population of the 3 primary impact counties of Murang'a, Nyeri, and Kirinyaga, according to 2019 Kenya population census, was about 3 million. The total population of the secondary impact counties of Embu and Machakos is between 500 million and 500,000 and 1 million persons, respectively. In terms of funding of this project, we have seen that there are 3 entities that are funding this project. We have the government of Kenya, we have the African Development Bank, and we have the Chinese African Growing Together Fund, which you have seen is a group that was formed between African Development Bank and Chinese Bank. So the government of Kenya secured financing from African Development Bank as well as African Growing Together Fund to fund this 84-kilometer Kenol-Sagana Marua road. As you have seen, the project will cost 257.68 million euros, and the funding is coming from African Development Bank, which is funding in tunes of 178 million euros. We have African Growing Together Fund. It is funding. Its 12% is equivalent to 31.15 million, and then we have the government of Kenya, which its 19% is equivalent to 48.5 million euros. The loan structure, the loan is fully flexible with options to fix the base rate and cap collar the base rate and convert currency. This provides a significant flexibility to manage interest rates as well as currency risks. It has a long tenor of 25 years, and this includes 8-year grace period, which is favorable for the Kenyan government because it allows it to enough time for the project to be completed and the initial cash flows stabilization before the repayment begins. The loan currency is euro. The loan type is a fully flexible loan, as you have seen. It has a maturity period of 25 years, which includes the 8-year grace period, and the repayment will be done twice per year. That is after the grace period. The interest rate structure, we have a base rate, which is a floating base rate, 16-month Euribor, which can be reset biannually on February 1st and August 1st. Options and the option to fix the base rate, and the funding cost margin will be determined biannually. Lending margin is 80 basis points or 0.8%. Maturity premium 0% if the average loan maturity is more than 12.75 years, and that's that kind of details. So when you talk of fixed flexible options where you have fixed or fixing the base rate, the floating base rate or the interest rate on the loans changes every 6 months based on the Euribor, which is a standard interest rate used in the Europe. In terms of option to fix the rate, the government can choose to lock in the interest rate so it doesn't have to change, protecting the government from future increases in Euribor. In terms of cap collar options, this can be set a maximum limit in the interest rates. Even if the Euribor goes up to a certain figure, the rate won't exceed this cap. In terms of collar options, this can be set both a maximum and minimum limit on the interest rates, and this means that the government rate that will be paid will stay within a specific range. In terms of currency conversion options, the government can switch the loan from euros to another currency which is approved by the lending institutions. So this generally helps in managing the risk if the income or expense are in different currency. We have seen that the loan is tenor is 25 years. So this means that the government has 25 years to repay the loan, which spreads out the payment over a long period of time. In terms of grace period of 8 years, for the first 8 years, the government will only pay the interest, not the loan principal. This gives the government time to complete the project and start probably getting benefits from this project before repaying back the principal. This on the semi-annual repayments. After the grace period, the government will make payments twice a year, and this will help the government to manage the cash flow better. Currency and loan type, we have seen that the loan is euro, which is helpful if the project cost and revenue will also be in euros, and this might be a challenge because probably most of the cost and revenues will be in dollars. We have seen that the loan type that has been offered to the Kenyan government for the construction of the Kenol-Marua-highway is fully flexible loan. This means that their government have various options to manage interest rates and manage currency risks, making the loan adaptable to the government needs. In terms of interest structure, we have seen that it has a floating base rate. And this means that interest rates will start as a floating rate based on the 6-month Euribor, which updates every 6 months. And then there's that option of locking the interest rates so that it stays the same, and this helps with the budgeting. In terms of funding cost margin, this is an extra amount added to the base rate, which is determined 6 months by the bank, and this reflects the bank cost of getting the money. In terms of lending margin, the 80 basis points or 0.8%, this is the bank fee for lending the money to the government, which is added to the base rate and funding margin. In terms of financial metrics, that is the net present value and internal rate of return, according to the document which is available from the African Development Bank, the net present value of this project is $348.7 million US dollars. So this means that the project is expected to generate $348.7 million more than its cost, and this is an indication that it's a good investment. In terms of economic internal rate of return, it has the rate is 29%, and this is normally a measure of the project profitability. At 29.0 economic internal rate of return means that the project is expected to generate 29% return on investment, which is very high and indicates strong economic benefits. So you can say in a nutshell that the loan for the Sagana Marua Road is designed to be flexible, and this allows the Kenyan government to manage interest rates and currency risk effectively. The long repayment period, which is 25 years, and a grace period of 8 years, gives the project gives the government plenty of time to complete the project and start generating the expected benefits before it starts repaying the principal. The various fees and options for fixing or capping interest rates and converting currencies make it easier to handle financial uncertainties with high NPV and economic internal rate of return, showing that the project is viable. So in terms of costs and fees, we have seen the costs and fees that in terms of front-end fees. In terms of execution and oversight, the Kenya National Highway Authorities is the executing agency and is responsible for implementing the project, ensuring that it adheres to the timelines, budget, as well as quality standards. The structured timelines with specific milestones will ensure that there is a clear roadmap from approval to completion of the project. The economic impact that is expected to be accrued out of this project, as you have seen, it will improve the economic situation of the counties concerned. It also significantly improve transportation efficiency to reduce travel time to about 1.4 hours and enhance safety, promoting regional trade as well as economic development. So this project largely aligns with the broader goals of infrastructure development and economic growth. It's likely to benefit local communities as well as contribute to national economic objectives. In terms of project timeline, the concept note for this funding was approved in May 2019, and that's when project approval by African Development Bank was done in 2019 September. Loan agreement signing was done in November 2019, and the project was launched in 2020 January. And loan disbursement, the last loan disbursement is expected to be March 2025, and the project is expected to be completed in December 2024, with the last loan repayment expected to be done in November 2044. Let's now look at the components of this project. The project will have various components such as road civil works, we have a road emergency response, compensation and resettlement of the people who will be affected or persons affected by the project PAPs. In terms of roads and civil works, this is expected to cost 19 billion Kenya shillings, which is equivalent to 169 million euros. The Kenol-Sagana Marua road, which is 84 kilometers, will have environmental and social mitigation measures, social complementary activities. In terms of advisory and complementary services, this is expected to cost 1.184 billion Kenya shillings, which is equivalent to 10 million euros. And this will include construction supervision services, studies for the pipeline projects, baseline survey and environmental social monitoring and evaluation, HIV and AIDS component, gender, road safety, sensitization and awareness, as well as project technical audit. Then there is a component of road accident emergency response, which this is allocated or estimation of cost for this component was 200 million Kenya shillings, and this is for construction of a post-crash trauma and injury recovery center at Sagana Sub-County Hospital. There's capacity building and institutional support, which is estimated to cost 157 million Kenya shillings, and this includes training of unemployed youth along the project corridor, capacity building of the Kenya staff, and road safety study. There is a compensation and a resettlement, which will cost or is expected to cost 4.861 billion Kenya shillings, and this is equivalent to 42.52 million euros. This component includes provision for the adequate compensation and settlement of the project affected person PAPs who identified in the project environmental, social and impact assessment report, and also relocation of affected utilities. The base cost for this project is 25.78 billion Kenya shillings, which is equivalent to 25 million euros. And these estimated contingencies for this project are 3.73 billion Kenya shillings, which is equivalent to 33 million euros, and this makes the total project cost to be 29.462 Kenyan shillings, and that is in terms of billions, and this is equivalent to 257.63 million euros. Now let's also look at one of the issues that has been thrown in the fresh as far as this project is concerned, and this is the compensation component. Considering that the construction activities for the dualling of Kenol-Sagana-Marua highway is occurring generally on 60-meter road corridor, it has given rise to resettlement and compensation impacts. Impacted areas for the road are concentrated along the corridor, and specifically from the Sagana to Marua, where an extra 20 meters is to be acquired to meet the standard 60 meters from 60 meters that is currently existing. A resettlement action plan has been prepared by Kenya National Highway Authority, and it has highlighted the following impacts. A total of 817 structures claimants with 2,341 assets. There are 1,268 land parcels to be affected by the project. The assets range from vacant land, residential houses, domestic outbuildings including stores, cattle sheds, pit latrines, trees and crops. The project will affect a total of 868 households, which includes 150 female and 718 male-headed households, and a total of 1,747 female persons affected by the project, and 1,695 male pups. A cut-off date for eligibility during preparation of the project was 8th December 2014. This date was agreed upon at the consultative forums and was widely publicized at the public meetings and during household survey and assets involving assets inventory exercise. The public, according to Kenya, is still adhering to the cut-off date, and probably no approvals have been made in the planned corridor since 2014, because these will not be included as far as compensation is concerned. That's according to Kenya. In relation to land take, the impacted properties include 108.32 hectares of land, structures measuring 800,078 142 feet, that is 98.4 hectares of crops, and also 30,000 trees for the whole alignment. A total of 54 public utilities ranging from education, health, religious, security, and water institutions will be partially affected. The impact is largely on fences, gates, land, water infrastructure, and as well as vegetative improvements like trees. A resettlement action plan implementation is being done by Kenya in collaboration with National Land Commission LLC, which is charged by the Constitution to implement land acquisition and vet, as well as execute compensation payments to the affected persons. Kenya National Highway Authority will provide administrative, supervisory, financial, and oversight to the project implementation. The estimated cost of compensation of the existing route through Karatina town is approximately 42.5 million euros. So let's now look at the challenges that the project is facing. The African Development Bank has warned that persistent delays in compensating the stakeholders for the Kenol-Marua dual carriageway project exposes the venture to serious risks of time and cost overruns. The African Development Bank, which is a key financier of the project, says that delays by the government to disburse payments to the persons who are affected by the project and contractors would cause the project to overstretch its planned schedule and budget. The delays in the land acquisition for right-of-way have impacted the implementation of works in the certain sections. This is also potentially impacting the cost of the works. This, according to African Development Bank in its recent implementation progress report. Construction of Kenol-Sagana-Marua highway, which is jointly funded, as you have seen, by African Development Bank and the Kenya government, has been under construction since 2020. The project has registered some progress, and in some cases it has earned praise, especially from the president of African Development Bank, who inspected the project in May 2022. However, in November 2023, the Chinese contractor in one of the sections, Jiangxi Engineering Group, stopped work on a section of the road due to pending bill of 900 million. The company claimed to have written to the Kenya National Highway Authority requesting settlement of the outstanding bill, but received no response, according to the company. The decision to suspend the works is regrettable, but stems from repeated failure of the employer to fulfill its contractual obligation, said one of the officials of the company. Jiangxi Engineering Group is undertaking the project in two lots. The first one, 48 kilometers, runs from Kenol town in Murang'a County to Sagana, which is in Kilometer County. The lot 2 stretches from Sagana to Marua in Nyeri County. The project was scheduled for completion in December 2024, but as for now, only 25 kilometers or thereabout of 30% of the road has been fully completed and handed over to the government. As of December 2023, the Kenol-Marua carriageway project achieved significant progress, with approximately 84% of the road completed. Additionally, 95% of the required 70,000 trees have been planted, according to various reports. However, critical aspects of the project, including the construction of the social facilities such as a hospital, trauma center, bus park, all these remain incomplete. The initial phase, which covered 36 kilometers Kenol-Sagana highway, have been projected to end by July 2022, and this month ahead of October 2023 deadline, but it remains incomplete due to delays in compensating the affected person. So we'll continue looking at this project to see its progress, whether it will be completed by December 2024. But by going by the current reports, this might not be realized, because some areas have not been people have not been compensated, and this may further delay the completion of this project. So thank you for reaching this far. If it's your first time here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Also hit the notification bell so that whenever you upload a new video, you are notified. Thank you.